In the passage, Deputy Governor charges clergy to live up to their calling. Participants at 2016 University of Faculty of Art Conference happened relevant humanities in the 21st century. Aftermath of coup attempts, European Union urges Turkey to abide by the rule of law. Details of these and more in a moment. Good morning to you, GBC 45 AM News. My name is Agnes Tudor King Brown. The recent celebration of the World Youth Skills Day by the United Nations has rubbed off positively on the youth of the state. This is because the celebration has afforded the youth an opportunity to rediscover themselves with a promise to develop more skills. The 2016 World Youth Skills Day was marked in the year with the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, in attendance. Patience John tells the story.
The Deputy Governor commended the United Nations for setting aside a day to remind youths of the need to be self-reliant by developing and learning skills that will help advance the global economy. Mr. Moses Ekpo lauded the state government for providing an enabling environment for youth development, as well as training youth in different areas. The Deputy Governor also challenged Akwa Ibom youth to embrace the unlimited opportunities that nature has provided, as well as programs of the state government to empower themselves and reduce unemployment.
I want to reassure you, and I'm instructed to say so by the Governor, that this government will never relent in its efforts to ensure that the youth are given the prime of positions, prime of places in our march towards development in this state.
The Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Skills Development, Mrs. Marjorie Abasodio, and the Special Assistant to the Governor on Youth Matters, Anyefio Okewa Udofia, said the day was set aside to support young people through training and skills development for a better future. They identified education and training as key determinants of success in the labor market and ensured that the government is stepping up efforts in providing skills training for young people.
The State Committee of the United Nations General Assembly decided to designate 15 July as World Youth Skills Day, and the resolution on this holiday was adopted unanimously.
The government believes that the youth of Akwa Ibom State will acquire skills. The youth of Akwa Ibom State must learn how to earn a living with dignity rather than begging.
The theme of this year's World Youth Skills Day is Skills Development to Improve Youth Empowerment. Patience John reporting.
The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, has charged the clergy to live up to their calling, obey God's commandments, and be good examples for others to follow. This, he said, will help draw people to God and make them disciples of Jesus Christ. The Deputy Governor gave a charge during the ordination of 4 priests at the St. Anne Cathedral, Ifor, in the Ikore local government area. Patience John again completes the story.
Those ordained with the Reverend Father Solomon Oko, Anthony Okon, Patrick Akpabio, and Christian Ibanga, Mr. Moses Ekpo, who commended them for choosing to work in the Lord's vineyard, urged them to be committed and dedicated in serving God as well as persevere in the face of challenges. He thanked the Catholic Church for providing health care and education in addition to satisfying the spiritual needs of the people and urged them to sustain such.
I want to join all of you who have already spoken to say that what is known to be at this point in time will be our ardent prayers so that they may arise by the Holy Spirit in every member of this service.
The Catholic Bishop of Ikot-Ekpene, Bishop Camille Sumo, who explained in his homily that God has a purpose for every man on earth, advised the new priest not to bring disrepute to the church, but live responsible lives that will win souls for God's kingdom.
And you can never give to others what you do not have. And that's why the work is wrong. And I'm grateful for you.
Identifying with the ordination, the president of Ikot-Ekpene Diocesan Laity Council, Justice Pius Idiom, expressed joy at the ordination, describing it as a call to higher service. Justice Idiom advised them not to hesitate to consult the senior priest while discharging the responsibilities. The Reverend Father Anthony Fiorokun, on behalf of his colleagues, thanked God for a successful day, the church and their parents for nurturing them to maturity and showing them the way of God. They promised to serve God diligently as well as contribute to the development of the church and the society. Meanwhile, one of the newly ordained priests, the Reverend Father Anthony Okon, has celebrated his first Eucharistic Thanksgiving Mass at the St. John Pro Cathedral, Abak, where the church, family members, and well-wishers attended the service. Patience John reporting.
The importance of art and humanities in the 21st century took center stage at the second biennial international conference at the University of Faculty of Arts, TAP PsyCon 2016. The conference had as its theme, Recreating the Humanities for Relevance in the 21st Century. Mr. Kerr was there for the following report.
The theme for the event, Recreating Humanities for Relevance in the 21st Century, echoed the stance of PsyCon 2016 as the participants noted that despite the importance of science and technology in the 21st century, the contributions of arts and humanities cannot be ignored. The host of the conference and Dean, Faculty of Arts, Professor Mrs. Ian Udofort, said the challenges faced by those in the arts and humanities include the shortage or lack of scholarship or funds for the research projects. Professor Udofort also said there is need to promote the arts and humanities and encourage students in such disciplines given their relevance in today's society.
While we do not deny the importance of science and technology in a rapidly developing and world, we have a duty to convince the world about the necessity of studying the arts and humanities, because if the world were full of scientists and technicians without the artists and humanities, there would be so many things wrong with human life and development.
In his speech, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Enefio Essien, represented by Professor Enom Fonokban, said the arts and humanities provide a way out for the global chaos and looming anarchy, mostly brought about by science and technology. He commended the efforts of the Faculty of Arts and assured that the university's management will always support research in arts and humanities.
I want to assure the Faculty of Arts that the management of the university is ready to support the faculty in its recreation efforts by investing in research, seminars, collaboration and conferences. Many members of the faculty have already benefited from state funding for conferences and research.
In a keynote address at the conference, Professor Yomi Akinyeyi of the Department of History and Strategic Studies, University of Lagos, decried global marginalization of arts and humanities and noted that both humanities and technology have their diverse values but existed on the same continuum, are interrelated, and are both relevant in the 21st century. He added that the humanities contributed largely to global economy.
Richest people in any society today are lawyers. Musicians are more celebrities. You look at their estates, even where they have gone, you see the millions and billions they still generate to keep humanity and society good.
Presenting the lead paper with the sub-theme, Grafting the Humanities with ICT for Relevance in the 21st Century, the Dean, Center for Gender Studies, University of Uyo, Professor Enoba Silva, said humanities involved understanding the world through language, history, and culture, stressing that without humanities, the society cannot function. She enumerated ways to graft humanities with technology, including indigenous language resource development through ICT, and sued for funds to digitize documents, including cultural traditions and languages, so that they don't go extinct.
Able to incorporate, programs in the humanities, within our tools into our teaching and research engagement. Students and researchers will become fascinated, and they appeal to draw more students to our program.
Other lead presenters at PHICON 2016 included Professor Des Wilson of the Department of Communication Arts, University of Uyo, who was represented by Dr. Wemekban. Parallel panels were later held at various departments in the Faculty of Arts. PHICON 2016 was attended by the former Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Odoito, the Chairperson PHICON 2016, Professor Enoikpe, heads of departments of the Faculty of Arts, lecturers, non-teaching staff, and students. Mercy Ekere, reporting.
We'll be back after the break. Stay with us.
There is a land of great beauty and wonderful people. Here, Mary Slessor called home until she passed on to greater glory. Here, Lord Lugard lived and administered Nigeria. The hills roll like the waves, and the waves rise like the hills. A land named after God, Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise.
Welcome back. The newly constituted executive of the People's Democratic Party from Code Ward 6 and 7 in Konaluku government area has officially been presented to the political leader of Gordon Kaisong, Engineer Samuel. The ceremony took place at the Civic Center, was witnessed by top political stalwart of the area and the People's Democratic Party faithful. The report is here presented.
Presenting the party executive of the Code Ward 6 and 7, Apostle Joseph Ekong, assisted by other party leaders, said the ward executive were chosen from the 23 villages that made up Nkodun Kaisong in the Konaluku government area. He said the presentation of the ward executive to the political leader became pertinent in order for him to know them and guide them on what they expected of them in party politics. Receiving the executive, the political leader of Nkodun Kaisong, Engineer Samuel Ekpenyong appreciated the People's Democratic Party members in the two wards for carefully selecting competent teams to work with him to lead the party to greater heights. He charged them to continue to support Governor Udum Emmanuel, whom he described as the leader of the party in the state. The immediate past chairman of the Konon local government area, Mr. Sukodo, charged the executive to see the elevation as a call to serve the People's Democratic Party in the Konon local government area, advising them to commence intensive membership drive in the grassroots to make the party stronger and more inclusive.
The individuals did not put them where they are today. The community put their heads together from the directive of the state government. In the past, I charged them to go ahead and do the work of the party and not the work of somebody. The community is
Livingston Daniel reporting.
The need to uphold a healthy lifestyle and sustain a formidable workforce was yesterday advocated at a free health talk and counseling for staff of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation. The South Regional Coordinator of Bill Lifestyle Company, Dr. Donatus Umo, made advocacy at the corporation's corporate headquarters, 3 Udodoma Avenue, U. Pamela Ayar was there and has the story.
The health talk, which was attended by staff of the corporation, was described as beneficial, especially in the face of biting economic realities, where people tend to work and worry more. They promised to abide by medical advice to stay strong and deliver on the tasking nature of their job, while commending management of the corporation for availing them the opportunity. Describing high blood pressure as the most prevalent ailment, the South-South Regional Coordinator of the company, Dr. Donatus Ume, recounted that 4 out of 10 people within 40 to 50 years of age risked developing the condition, highlighting major risk factors to poor health to include lack of rest, exercise, and good nutrition. Dr. Ume called on the staff to do away with unhealthy lifestyles such as smoking and excessive alcohol consumption. He hinted that the major benefit of the sensitization by the Bell Lifestyle Company was to help people get over the ignorance mark in disease prevention.
Plant protein than animal protein. Why do we need more of plant protein? It helps so much. Why do we need less of animal protein? Because of the cholesterol level. That's why we advise what about 1 year to cut the consumption of egg and red meat. Thirdly is fruit and vegetable. This is the wonders of our generation now. Fruit and vegetable. Pay attention to this.
Staff who were tested were privy to advice on how their condition of health can be managed, while the organization canvassed the use of alternative naturopathic medicine in disease management. Samuel Ayara reporting.
A 5-day national convention of the Life and Peace Mission has ended in Uyo. The convention, which had as its theme greater things than this, also featured a Thanksgiving service at number 26 Ring Road in the Ilorin to mark the 16th anniversary of the church. In a sermon, the guest minister, Reverend Xavier Eto, charged the church to key into the vision God has given to them so the convention succeed. He advised the church to use the 2016 convention to spread the gospel of God's love for a better society, saying that experiencing greater things from God can be made possible through the love and concern Christians have for their neighbors and by creating a space for God. Reverend Eto, who took his text from John chapter 1 verse 50, used the biblical characters Philip and Nathaniel to illustrate the kind of love Christians should show to others. In an interview, Minister Pastor May Alex said that the church has experienced tremendous physical expansion and spiritual growth in its 16 years of existence. The anniversary Thanksgiving featured salvation messages, testimonies of breakthrough and choir ministration by the Women Fellowship as well as Pillars of Praise Choir. Central Bank of Nigeria approved opening of new bank accounts with zero deposits. 21st International AIDS Conference begins in Durban, South Africa. Aftermath of coup attempt, European Union urges Turkey to abide by rule of law. These and more in a national foreign news segment with Mercy Ekara.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has approved the opening of new bank accounts without deposits. The CBN said it encourages deposit money banks to improve their deposit mobilization efforts in line with the Financial Inclusion Initiative, where deposit money banks are required to allow zero balances for opening new bank accounts. This effort, the CBN said, is to make banking services accessible to the unbanked public. The new policy is contained in the Monetary, Credit, Foreign Trade and Exchange Guidelines for 2016-2017 fiscal years. Accordingly, deposit money banks have been encouraged to develop new products that will improve access to credit and simplify account opening processes without compromising the Know Your Customer requirements. The National Bureau of Statistics has released its monthly inflation report, which indicates that Nigeria's inflation rate accelerated by 16.5% in June from 15.6% in May. According to the report, the increased inflation rate is as a result of higher prices of electricity, transport and food, and it is the highest in almost a decade, as well as the fifth monthly increase in a row. The report also showed a decrease in tourism, including hotels and recreation. Authorities in Turkey have begun questioning senior military figures alleged to have had links in the failed military coup over the weekend. About 8,000 police officers have been suspended. Some 6,000 members of the judiciary and military have also been detained in connection with the coup. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has vowed to purge the country of persons that caused the revolt and has said his government is considering the reintroduction of death penalties for traitors. The European Union, sitting in Brussels, has discussed failed coup attempts in Turkey. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said Turkey must abide by the rule of law. U.S. Secretary of State Mr. John Kerry, who spoke ahead of the meeting of EU foreign ministers in Brussels, urged Turkey to maintain democratic principles after the coup attempt, adding that NATO will be scrutinizing the country in the coming days. 290 people died in the coup attempt. The 21st International AIDS Conference has begun in Durban, South Africa, with the theme Access Equity Rights Now. The 5-day conference has in attendance more than 18,000 delegates, including scientists, policymakers, and charities dedicated to fighting the HIV and AIDS pandemic, who will meet to coordinate global response to the virus. According to the UNAIDS, the UN agency dedicated to fighting the HIV epidemic, global rates of new infections have fallen by 6% since 2010, with about 36.7 million people worldwide currently living with HIV. UNAIDS goal for 2020 is to have 90% of all the people living with HIV know their status, while 90% of those diagnosed should receive sustained antiretroviral therapy, and 90% of people receiving therapy should have viral suppression. One of the opening sessions of the 21st AIDS Conference had the delegates examine how governments could roll out plans that would address sex workers, as well as the legal position on sex work and the effective implementation of plans rolled out.
That's been our package this morning. A reminder that you can also watch KBC TV News online by logging on to KBCOnline.org, or follow us on Twitter at KBC450 or on Facebook at KBC Channel 45. Before we go, we'll look at the major parties. The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Eko, has charged the clergy to live up to their calling, obey God's commandments and show good example to help draw people to God. Mr. Ekpo gave the charge during the ordination of 4 priests at the St. Anne's Cathedral, Ifo, in the Ikwerre Diocese of the Catholic Church. Also brought a report that the importance of art and humanities in the 21st century took center stage at the 2nd Biennial International Conference of the University of the Faculty of Arts, TAP HiCon 2016. The conference had as its theme, Recreating the Humanities for Relevance in the 21st Century. That is in our package. Thanks for watching. My name is Agnes.